Japan and Africa. The TICAD Conference is aimed at helping African countries build economic partnerships and secure financing for big infrastructural projects. KTN's Abby Agina now joins us from the main venue of the conference, the KICC. Abby, tell us more about this meeting.
Well, a very good morning and welcome to our special coverage of this Tokyo International Conference on Africa Development, TICAD 6, happening here at the KICC. Today is the official opening, and we have President Uhuru Kenyatta officially opened the conference just a few minutes ago, and right now it's the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe making his address to a number of delegates that total about 6,000 of them. A lot of high-level discussions expected today here at KICC, with African heads of state already checking in. So far we have close to 15 heads of state that I have personally seen make their way to this conference. We have representation from South Africa, where Jacob Zuma is in attendance of this conference. We also have the Nigerian President Muhammad Buhari, as well as the President for Somalia and a number of other countries, including Cote d'Ivoire and Djibouti. But aside from that, this conference comes hot on the heels as Kenya tries to execute a number of big ticket projects that are set to ease the cost of doing business for the exporters and also for the common man in terms of having more jobs coming through the pipeline. The biggest question will be, what will Kenya take out of this TICAD conference? And to help us understand perhaps what should we expect in this conference, I'm now joined by Ali Kansachu, who is a political and economic analyst, and he will be sharing with us his views regarding what to expect out of this conference. Good morning, Ali.
Good morning, Abby.
The atmosphere here seems to be great. A lot of high-level leaders already in the building. So far, what's your take of the conference as you kick it off today?
It's a really big deal, Abby. This is the first TICAD conference. They've been hosting them since the 1990s to be held in Africa. It's being held in Nairobi. It's a big statement indigenizing this relationship. I think it's a really big statement. As you said, heads of state wherever you turn, Abe's in town, and I think this is all about a renewed commitment of Japan to Africa. I come from Mombasa. I remember when the Nyali Bridge was being built in the 1970s. They've been here before. I work for the Japanese. Once they make a decision, then it's all in. They're coming in full force. There are 100 companies I counted here, and I can imagine all of them are ready to do stuff. So I'm very excited by it, really am.
All right. So far, what should Kenya expect in terms of the economic agenda out of this conference?
So Japan has had an economic agenda in Kenya. JICA has been a big player. Whenever I've been to Kengen's functions, you see that they're a big provider of capital. Look around, they're doing some of our roads. They're big at the port, Kenya ports. They don't need to be in every single African country like China. China needs the votes at the UN. Japan doesn't. So I think Japan's going to pick its spots, and I think Kenya is one of those spots. And therefore, it's important for us to leverage this contact point into multiple areas, not just infrastructure, soft skills. The Japanese are big in manufacturing. We want to be bigger. We need to create more jobs. So I think those are the areas where I expect collaboration.
And Ali, there seems to be a general emphasis on high-quality infrastructure coming through from Shinzo Abe's speech to the Prime Minister yesterday. Well, he was in State House, as well as his other dignitaries. They are quite keen on the high-quality infrastructure, and of course, Kenya has quite a number of projects in the pipeline.
So I think what the Japanese are saying is we can differentiate ourselves. You know, we're ahead of the curve when it comes to infrastructure, and that's a fact. We know that they were the inventors of the bullet train and all kinds of things. So what they're saying is correct, and they're saying to us, you know, the time has come now for you. It's not just about building roads. It's about building good roads. It's not just about building a bridge. It's about building a good bridge. It's not just about having a great port in Mombasa. It's about having a great port in Africa. And I think those are the things that are resonating with us. And also their attitude is one of collaboration. They work with other agencies. As you know, the president of the World Bank is here.
Dr. Jim Yong Kim.
That's right. And you can see from the number of heads of states, you know, Afreximbank, AFDB, everybody who is anybody on the continent is here right now in Nairobi. That's a great thing.
All right. And Ali, looking at where Japan is coming from, Of course, China has already made significant inroads in
Yes.
most African countries. They're executing big ticket projects. For example, in Kenya, Chinese are doing the SGR. They're also doing a number of the main dual carriageways. Perhaps is Japan playing catch-ups in this diplomatic chess game, really?
Look, if you look at, there obviously is contestation and contest between Japan and China. You're seeing that most obviously in the South China Sea right now. And the point I would make is, if you look at it from a maritime topography, the Indian Ocean is an appendage of the South China Sea. So really, I can see more contestation in the Indian Ocean. I see Japan playing a role. Abe has changed the constitution. They're taking a more forward-looking approach when it comes to projecting military power. I suspect Japan, India, and the US are going to work in tandem in order to control the Indian Ocean. So it's a geopolitical issue there. I don't think Japan has to go toe-to-toe in every single country in Africa. It's saying to itself, look, we're going to punch harder, but we're going to punch in fewer places. And I think that's the attitude.
Awesome. And Ali, the other big question is, right now in GC, the last TICAD 5, there was a pledge by TICAD 5 to give about $32 billion to go towards Africa in the form of grants, in the form of economic partnerships and MOUs. And it's billed that out of TICAD 6, the amount is likely to go higher.
I think the amount is likely to go higher. I tend to find with the Japanese, they don't like blowing their own trumpet. So, when they give a number, that number is the real number. It's not a number over 50 years, and who knows whether we'll really get it. So, yes, I think we are going to get that. We're going to get an upscaling of the commitment, but we're also going to get a tipping point for the Japanese corporate sector, who can put enormous amounts of money to work. Don't forget, in Japan, interest rates are at negative rates. They have a lot of liquidity. I think they're going to put that liquidity to work on the continent.
And lastly, of course, the issue around good governance came out yesterday. We did see the president of Africa Development Bank just raising that issue, that good governance will be critical if Africa is to grow. Right now, we're seeing Africa grew by about 3.5%. 2017, we're projected to grow by about 4.5%. What's your view on governance, and as we wrap it up?
So I think, that's a differentiation point for the Japanese. We've got to take that into consideration. They do need a very good corporate governance structure, and if we really want to get this flow of water to turn into a flood, we're going to have to take into account that kind of thing.
Many thanks there. We've been speaking to Ali Kansachu, who is an economic analyst, just talking to us on some of the key outcomes of TICAD 6. High-level discussions happening here at KICC. Like I said, over 30 heads of state expected to attend. So far, we've managed to see about 17 presidents making their way here. And indeed, it is one of the conferences to watch out for. A lot of expectations in terms of what trade deals will come out of this conference, as well as what sort of economic partnerships will be coming through. All this happening here at KICC. For now, let's cross back to studio, but we'll be keeping you updated with my colleague Ali Manzu as well, who is with us here at the Kenyatta International Convention Center. Back to you in studio.
Right, Abi Agina there, thank you. We'll be bringing you